Imagine this. It's late in the evening. You're tired, you don't feel like cooking, and you reach into the freezer for something quick. A frozen dinner, maybe a pizza, maybe even a dessert. After all, it's just one meal. What harm could it do? But here's the truth. Most food companies don't want you to know that one box can contain an entire day's worth of salt, unhealthy oils that inflame your joints, and additives that silently strain your heart and kidneys. And when you're over 60, your body simply doesn't recover from these silent hits the way it once did. I know how tempting frozen foods can be. They're affordable, they last long, and they save time when you're not in the mood to cook. And to be clear, not all frozen foods are harmful. In fact, a few of them can actually improve your health. But the danger lies in the hidden choices, the ones dressed up to look convenient and harmless, yet slowly chip away at your energy, your mobility, and even your independence. After 60, every food choice either builds you up or tears you down. That's why in this video I'm exposing 9 frozen foods you should avoid at all costs, and then I'll reveal 2 that are surprisingly healthy, even better than some fresh options. Stay with me, because the difference between weakness and strength, between inflammation and vitality, may just come down to what's hiding in your freezer. Let's get started. Now, before we get into the list of frozen foods to avoid, let's pause for a moment and ask, why does food choice matter so much more after 60? When we were younger, our bodies were more forgiving. A salty pizza or sugary dessert was often just an indulgence. But as we age, our metabolism slows down. That means every calorie, every gram of sugar, and every milligram of sodium has a greater impact. Digestion also becomes less efficient. The stomach produces less acid, making it harder to break down certain nutrients. Our intestines don't absorb vitamins and minerals as well as they once did. So when we fill up on empty processed frozen foods, we're not just eating convenience, we're robbing our bodies of the nutrients they desperately need to stay strong. And then there's sodium and preservatives. A single frozen dinner can pack nearly 1,000 milligrams of salt. That's almost half of what's recommended in an entire day. For someone over 60, that salt can push blood pressure higher, straining the heart, stiffening blood vessels, and worsening kidney function. The result? More fatigue, more swelling, more joint pain. But here's the empowering truth. Just as the wrong frozen foods can accelerate aging, the right ones can help protect your memory, strengthen your bones, and keep your energy steady throughout the day. That's why we need to separate the frozen foods that are silent saboteurs from the ones that are genuine allies. And once you understand this difference, every trip to the freezer becomes a chance to protect your health and independence. So with that in mind, let's dive into the 9 frozen foods you should avoid at all costs, and then I'll reveal 2 that actually belong in your freezer. 1. Frozen pizza. It's quick, it's easy, and it smells amazing straight out of the oven. But frozen pizza is one of the biggest traps sitting in your freezer. Here's why. A single slice can pack over 700 milligrams of sodium, and let's be honest, most of us don't stop at one slice. The cheese and processed meats add layers of saturated fat, while the crust is usually made from refined white flour that spikes your blood sugar and then leaves you drained. For someone over 60, that combination is dangerous. The high salt content raises blood pressure, stiffens blood vessels, and forces your heart to work harder. Meanwhile, the refined carbs increase inflammation and make arthritis symptoms worse. So what's the healthier alternative? If you enjoy pizza, make your own. Use a whole grain or cauliflower crust, fresh vegetables, and just a light sprinkle of cheese. You can even prepare small portions ahead of time and freeze them, so you still get the convenience without the hidden risks. 2. Frozen fried chicken. Frozen fried chicken is another food that may look innocent but carries a heavy cost. It's pre-breaded, pre-fried in cheap oils, and then frozen to sit on a shelf for months. The problem? Most of these products are loaded with trans fats and saturated fats. Trans fats are particularly harmful. They not only raise your bad cholesterol, but they also lower your good cholesterol, creating a double blow to your heart health. And let's not forget the sodium. A single serving of frozen fried chicken can contain well over 1,200 milligrams. That's nearly your entire recommended limit for the day in just a few pieces. A much better option is to make your own chicken at home. Bake it instead of frying, season it with heart-friendly herbs and spices, and then freeze it in small portions. That way you still have the convenience of frozen chicken without the inflammation and artery damage that comes with the boxed version. 3. Frozen TV dinners. For many people, frozen TV dinners are a go-to option, quick, portioned, and no dishes to wash. But what you don't see on the box is what makes these meals so dangerous, especially after 60. Most TV dinners are overloaded with sodium, sometimes over 1,500 milligrams in a single tray. That's more than half of your daily limit in one sitting. Add to that artificial preservatives, flavor enhancers, and even hidden sugars, and you have a meal that fuels high blood pressure, kidney stress, and blood sugar spikes. The problem isn't just the salt, it's the lack of nutrition. These meals are usually low in fiber, low in protein, and lacking fresh vegetables, which leaves your body hungry for real nourishment. Here's the better option: cook your own meals in batches. Make a big pot of vegetable soup, stew or stir-fry, and freeze them in individual containers. You'll have the same convenience of a TV dinner, but with food that strengthens your body instead of weakening it. 4. Frozen breakfast sandwiches. Frozen breakfast sandwiches promise a quick start to your day, but what they actually deliver is a storm of processed meats, refined carbs, and artificial cheese. Most of these sandwiches contain processed bacon or sausage, which are loaded with nitrates and saturated fats. The bread is usually refined white flour, offering no fiber to keep you full. And the sodium? A single sandwich can pack 800 milligrams or more before you've even had your morning coffee. That kind of meal sets you up for an energy crash, higher cholesterol, and blood sugar spikes that are especially harmful if you're managing diabetes or heart concerns. The healthier swap? Make your own freezer-friendly breakfast sandwiches. Use a whole-grain English muffin or oat bread, add a boiled or scrambled egg, some spinach, maybe even a slice of avocado. Wrap them individually and freeze, so you still get quick breakfasts that actually fuel your body with real nutrients. 5. Frozen French fries and hash browns. Few things are as tempting as crispy fries or golden hash browns. They're staples in the freezer aisle and they feel like a harmless side dish. But here's the hidden truth. These frozen potato products are already pre-fried before they ever reach your kitchen. That means they're coated in unhealthy oils and preservatives to make them last. Each serving can be packed with trans fats, which damage blood vessels and raise your risk of heart disease. On top of that, frozen fries and hash browns are loaded with salt, which only worsens high blood pressure and water retention. And let's not forget the starch. These potatoes are refined, stripped of fiber, and cause sharp spikes in blood sugar, something especially harmful if you're managing diabetes. The healthier alternative? Make oven-baked sweet potato fries at home. Slice them, drizzle with olive oil, sprinkle a little seasoning, and bake. You can freeze them too, and they'll be ready to pop into the oven whenever you need a healthy side. 6. Frozen meatballs. Frozen meatballs seem like an easy protein fix, just heat and serve. But most packaged meatballs aren't made from quality meat. Instead, they're filled with sodium, breadcrumbs, preservatives, and even nitrates. These fillers stretch the meat but rob it of real nutrition. The result? Each serving often contains more salt than protein, along with unhealthy fats that fuel inflammation and raise cholesterol. Even more concerning, processed meats, including many frozen meatballs, are linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer, something older adults need to be especially mindful of. The better choice is simple: make your own meatballs. Use lean turkey, chicken, or even lentils and vegetables, then bake and freeze them in batches. You'll get the same convenience, but with real nutrition and none of the harmful additives. 7. Frozen waffles and pancakes. They're fast, they're easy, and they bring back memories of family breakfasts. But frozen waffles and pancakes are one of the worst ways to start your morning, especially after 60. Here's why: most of these products are made from refined white flour, which has almost no fiber. That means your blood sugar spikes quickly, leaving you tired and hungry again within an hour. Add in syrups or toppings, and you're basically eating dessert for breakfast. Over time, this pattern increases your risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, and fatigue, and the hidden preservatives in frozen waffles and pancakes do nothing for your body's long-term health. A smarter option is to make your own whole grain or oat-based waffles and pancakes. Add flax seeds or blueberries for extra nutrition. Freeze them in portions, and you'll still have quick breakfasts, but with fiber, protein, and energy that lasts. 8. Frozen desserts, ice cream, cakes, pies. Now let's talk about frozen desserts, the guilty pleasure hiding in almost every freezer. Ice cream, cakes, pies. They're sweet, creamy, and comforting. But for older adults, they come with a heavy price. Most frozen desserts are loaded with sugar, sometimes 20 to 30 grams in a single serving. That's more than the recommended daily limit for many adults. Excess sugar doesn't just lead to weight gain, it fuels inflammation, worsens arthritis, disrupts sleep, and accelerates aging in your skin and organs. They're also high in saturated fats and artificial additives, which increase cholesterol and slow down digestion. Instead, reach for healthier frozen treats. Frozen Greek yogurt with fresh fruit, or even a smoothie made with frozen berries, gives you sweetness plus antioxidants, fiber, and protein. You'll satisfy your cravings without sacrificing your health. 9. Frozen breaded fish fillets. Fish is supposed to be one of the healthiest foods you can eat, rich in omega-3 that protect your heart, your brain, and even your eyesight. But frozen breaded fish fillets take that natural gift and cover it up with unhealthy extras. The breading is usually made from refined white flour, then pre-fried in cheap industrial oils before being frozen. This process strips away much of the nutritional benefit of the fish, while adding trans fats and saturated fats that increase inflammation. To make matters worse, these fillets are often loaded with sodium to preserve flavor. A single serving can contain nearly 600 to 800 milligrams of salt, and that's before you even add tartar sauce or sides. A smarter choice is simple. Buy plain frozen fish fillets with no breading or sauces. Salmon, cod, haddock, or trout can all be frozen without losing their nutritional value. Season them at home with herbs, garlic, or a squeeze of lemon, and you'll enjoy all the benefits of fish without the hidden dangers in the breaded version. Now let's talk about frozen foods that are actually healthy. 1. Frozen vegetables. After so many warnings, it's important to know this: not all frozen foods are harmful. In fact, some are your body's best allies, and one of the best examples is frozen vegetables. Here's something surprising. Frozen vegetables are often just as nutritious as fresh, and in some cases even better. Why? Because they're usually harvested at peak ripeness and then flash frozen within hours. This process locks in vitamins and minerals that fresh produce might lose during shipping and storage. Think about the broccoli or spinach you buy fresh from the store. By the time it gets from the farm to the truck, to the warehouse, to the supermarket shelf, and finally to your fridge, several days, sometimes weeks, have passed. During that time, the vitamin C, folate, and antioxidants slowly break down. Frozen vegetables skip that delay, sealing in their nutrients until you're ready to use them. They're also convenient. No chopping, no peeling, no spoilage. You can take out only what you need and keep the rest frozen, which saves money and reduces food waste, and the health benefits are huge. Frozen spinach supports bone health with vitamin K and iron. Frozen broccoli protects against cancer with sulforaphane. Mixed vegetables provide fiber, which keeps digestion smooth and helps control blood sugar levels. One caution though: choose plain frozen vegetables, not the ones that come with butter sauces, cheese toppings, or salty seasonings. The healthiest frozen vegetables are the ones with just a single ingredient listed: the vegetable itself. So when it comes to your freezer, frozen vegetables are one item you should keep stocked. They protect your heart, your bones, and your independence. One serving at a time. 2. Frozen berries. Another frozen food that deserves a place in your kitchen is frozen berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. These little powerhouses are more than just sweet treats. They're medicine disguised as fruit. Berries are packed with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which protect your brain from age-related decline. Multiple studies show that seniors who eat berries regularly have sharper memory, slower cognitive decline, and lower risk of dementia. And it's not just the brain. Frozen berries fight inflammation, which means less joint pain and better mobility. Their fiber helps regulate digestion and keep cholesterol under control. And the natural compounds in berries support heart health by improving blood flow and lowering blood pressure. Here's the best part: frozen berries are picked at peak ripeness and frozen quickly, which preserves their nutrition. In fact, studies show they're nearly identical in nutrient value to fresh berries, and sometimes fresher, since fresh berries can lose vitamins while sitting on store shelves. How can you use them? Add a handful to your morning oatmeal or yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or let them thaw slightly for a sweet and healthy dessert. They're quick, versatile, and can stay in your freezer for months without spoiling. And here's a simple swap: Instead of reaching for frozen pies or ice cream, grab a bowl of frozen blueberries or strawberries with Greek yogurt. You'll get the sweetness you crave, plus antioxidants and protein that nourish instead of harm. So don't be afraid of frozen fruit, especially berries. They're one of the simplest, most affordable ways to protect your memory, strengthen your heart, and enjoy aging with vitality. Now that you know which frozen foods to avoid and which ones can actually support your health, let's talk about how to shop smart. Because the truth is, the frozen aisle can either help you live longer or silently harm your health. These practical tips will guide you every time you shop. The number one rule is simple: read the ingredient list. If the label has more than 5 or 6 ingredients, or if you see words you can't pronounce, like sodium triplephosphates or monoglycerides, it's a red flag. The best frozen foods should be just one ingredient: broccoli, blueberries, or salmon, nothing extra. 2. Watch for sodium traps. Frozen meals are notorious for being packed with salt, sometimes more than your entire daily limit in a single box. For seniors, too much sodium raises blood pressure and increases stroke risk. Aim for frozen items with less than 500 milligrams of sodium per serving. Anything higher than that should go back on the shelf. 3. Check the sugar content. Frozen waffles, pancakes, and desserts often hide 15-20 grams of sugar in just one serving. That's the same as 4 or 5 teaspoons of sugar. High sugar intake fuels weight gain, diabetes, and memory decline. Look for options under 10 grams of sugar per serving, and remember, plain frozen fruit has 0 added sugar. 4. Avoid additives and preservatives. Another trick: scan for artificial additives. If the package mentions artificial flavors, colors, hydrogenated oils, or preservatives like BHA and BHT, put it back. These chemicals stress your liver and increase inflammation, which speeds up aging. 5. Choose naked frozen foods. When it comes to frozen meat, poultry, or seafood, choose the naked version, meaning no breading, no sauces, no flavor packets. Breaded fish fillets, for example, double the calories and load you with unhealthy oils. Plain frozen salmon, shrimp, or chicken breast is far healthier and just as convenient. 6. Portion control with frozen meals. If you must rely on a frozen dinner for convenience, try this: split it into 2 portions and add a side of frozen vegetables or a salad. This cuts the sodium and calorie load in half, while boosting fiber and nutrition. 7. Stock your freezer with health staples. Think of your freezer as your personal nutrition toolbox. Keep it stocked with frozen spinach, broccoli, peas, berries, plain salmon, and chicken. That way, when you're too tired to cook, you always have healthy options ready in minutes. 8. Rotate and check expiration dates. Finally, don't forget to rotate your freezer stock. Use the oldest items first and check expiration dates. While frozen food lasts longer, it's not meant to stay in your freezer forever. Stale food loses both flavor and nutrients. Remember, your freezer can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. By reading labels, avoiding salt and sugar traps, and choosing plain frozen foods, you'll transform your freezer into a health booster that keeps you strong, sharp, and independent. We've covered a lot today. We talked about the frozen foods that can quietly harm your body, like pizza, fried chicken, and sugary desserts. And we also uncovered the hidden gems in the freezer aisle, like frozen vegetables and berries, that can protect your heart, your brain, and your independence as you age. Here's the truth. After 60, every food choice counts. Your body no longer forgives unhealthy habits the way it once did. But the good news is, it's never too late to change. Even small shifts like swapping frozen French fries for frozen broccoli can lower your blood pressure, protect your memory, and keep your legs moving strong. Your freezer doesn't have to be a trap filled with processed foods. It can become your secret weapon for healthy aging. Imagine opening your freezer and seeing foods that fuel your energy, sharpen your mind, and help you live longer. Foods you feel proud to eat. You've worked too hard in life to let frozen junk food steal your health. You deserve strength. You deserve energy. You deserve more years of independence and joy, and that starts with the simple choices you make today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more senior health and wellness tips. And tell me in the comments, which frozen food swap are you going to make first? I'd love to hear from you. Remember, your freezer can be a source of disease or a source of strength. The choice is yours. Make it wisely, and I'll see you in the next video.